everybody. So, welcome everybody. Absolutely knackered, still full of man flu. So, how are we all tonight? Oh, by the way, I'm not using the new mobile. This is the new one. Not yet. I have a little slight issue, and it's that. Now, SIM card, memory card, and I'm not sure what that one is. Because I need a magnifying glass to read it. So there we go. Anyway, how are we all this evening? It is absolutely stotting down of rain. And I'm going to show you something. Okay? Now, I posted to Facebook just before a screenshot. Good evening, Pete. And we got Dex Joe R5B said, "Hi, are you from England? I hope so." Now, let me just show you something. Okay. I have been sitting in this lovely seat for hours and hours and hours. So let me just share what's on screen. Right. So we've got two birds, as you can see. Right. And we've got that side as well. And what I'm doing, this side here is where I'm building each scene bit by bit, totally. And like I say, this is taking absolutely hours of time because it's dark outside, as you can see. Yeah, very dark outside, and it's still raining. It's been raining all day. And what I want to say to you all is this, right? Now, a couple of people over the past few weeks have been on about when I created the meme coins. Yeah. And what they've said is like, nobody wants them. And one of the meme coins is MMS, which is the Mighty Magpie Show. Reason why is because when I started to use the program, which is Flova.ai, Flova.ai, it's expensive. It is not cheap. And what I've found out since Christmas to now is, hey up Corvo, I'm building the scenes up, Corvo, and the scenes include, if you look on Facebook, there's 2 pages on Facebook. One is Geordie Nation, and the other one is Paul Gallant 1. So if you look on there, you will see the screenshot, which I did hours ago. And in the screenshot, you know how they've been talking about rebuilding St James's Park? Or are we getting a brand new stadium? So what I did was I kind of twisted Flova's arm to build a brand new stadium the way I want it for 80,000 plus. Creeper Gaming with Tuli. Hello! And Steve-O. Evening, gang. Now, the reason why I created that meme coin, MMS, is to go pushing forward because I'm breaking brand new ground. And what I mean by that is what the Magpies do in the show. Okay? The Pete, Polo, you've done more work on the stadium than the Public Investment Fund. Well, yes, I've redone it, and the end version will have 3 complete circles. Okay, 3 rings. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay. It'll also have, at one point of the stadium, a gigantic screen. Now, those of you who used to go to St James's Park many, many years ago, we had a great big scoreboard in the Gallagher. And then when they rebuilt the Gallagher, put the roof on, they took that out. So I'm going to put one in. But there's so many unique features to the Mighty Magpie Show. There's over 10 of them. After yesterday's performance, we will be looking to get 8,000. Well, look at it this way, right? I was talking to a neighbour. He supports another team in the Premier League, not far from Newcastle, 99 mile. Okay. And we were talking, and he turned around and said, the way Newcastle's playing at the moment, they're going to go into the relegation zone, which is kind of, what kind of features can we expect? Things that are in here. And I'll give you teasers of the features. And that's all I'm going to do, is give you teasers in an image to up here on YouTube and on Facebook, and some of those features I'll put them onto seekingyou.co.uk. Okay. Will there be any hatchling eggs? You've been sitting on my shoulder, haven't you? You've been sitting on my shoulder because, yes, there is something along the lines of something new being added. And what you're also going to find is this, that I wanted it to be hilarious, but also educational. Yeah. Magpies are notorious for robbing nests. Will yours be stealing points off Arsenal? Well, it's funny you should say that, because at this moment in time, there are two things which are being pulled in to the show, and that is nighttime games under the lights. And most of you know that some games in Europe are at night, giving you a hint. Okay. Yeah, it will be funny, because there's parts to it which will make you just burst out laughing. And it's not just like the funny bits are the young magpies. Mum and dad are teaching them, and like I say, because mum and dad are teaching them, the probably by the summer, if I can upgrade again, because I've already upgraded once, and that was $197. It's a lot of money. So that's why I created the meme coin, the MMS, because to do groundbreaking work costs you money. Will you be releasing merchandise? That's on the cards, yes. And it's just, how do I get those bits? Because I'm only one person. Yeah, I'm just me by myself doing this. And, there's like doing the API for Seeking You, and I've got to do the other API for Geordie Nation as well. So I'm doing it twice, and it's hard. Yeah, maybe a special appearance by the Hedgehogs. Millie Bailey _official. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Do you appear in it? No, but my music does appear in it. So at some point during a series, there will be a day where you see the family up high looking down, and the pitch is covered with people, and the camera will pan in like what Sam Fender did basically at St James's Park. Same thing, except it'll be me. It is Pete, it is. You are absolutely spot on. It's technical. It stretches your brain and like wrings it out and then kicks it across the room. So yes, it is. But the end result will be wow. That's what I'm looking for. The wow factor. Uh, will the younger magpies have to deal with real world issues? Yes. Um, like peer pressures to take no. Would be I'm going to like you're going to see parts of Newcastle, in all of the parts of Newcastle is where the crowd will come. So one of them will be the Gallagher. There will be Barrett Road, and on a match day there'll be lots of music when I showed you the last time, where the drummers are coming down. Strawberry, yeah, and up through the Gallagher, up through them new builds, towards the Strawberry, and this is why I wanted to push it to half an hour. Am I streaming from the new mobile? No. That's the new mobile there. And I spent a little bit of time like putting the new screen protector on it today, and squashing the bubbles out so like it's all thingied. And so are these shots from the air? Well, the shots are from various different places, including the dugout. And this is like I'm giving you clues. Yeah. So like the dugout, and our superstar players are also mentioned. Will they visit Chinatown? Yeah, well, Chinatown is en route to St. James's Park. So that's where each journey begins in a different place on each episode. And basically it's highlighting the city of Newcastle upon Tyne and the stadium. But the stadium has gone through a transformation. Meet a Peking duck. But yeah. And at the minute, like I say, I had to pay for the upgrade to do the first proper episode, and I've said to it, look, I need to stretch the time, and so that we're working on that. We're building stretching the time. In this world, everyone a magpie, like they are players, or is it a group of? Well, you've got a family, mum and dad. There will also be extra magpies included, and there is multiple plans of expansion. Are you going to use real footage? Well, you'll have to find that one out when it comes out. Because I've mentioned, like, in the past number of hours, the following: Johan Wisser, Nick Waltermaid, Harvey Barnes, Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, Joe Linton, and I've given it a remit, and these are 4 bits within the new St James's Park. What Bongo is asking is, do humans exist? Yes, they do. Yes. 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 And there's unique things inside the stadium to elevate the show. What? I'm not even sure. Why don't people like put dashes in? What's unknown? I'm struggling with that one. Cricket is a boring game. That's it. So in you were saying, so you've improved the stadium. Well, the stadium's definitely had a vast improvement. And I wanted 80,000 plus at St James's. So that's what you've got, 80,000 plus. Because I know most of us wanted to get, as many fans inside St James's Park as humanly possible. So I thought, do it. The only problem was building the scenes. Never done that before, ever. And it's complex. Why is it the second largest game in the world? Second largest game in the world? Football's the biggest game. Premier League. Are you a football player? I used to be, years and years ago. I thought curling was. Does. Cricket. I couldn't play cricket to save my life. Why are you not showing an accurate? Because when they mentioned the feasibility study, it was, we are going to either improve St James's, which we all wanted, i.e. we wanted a bigger Gallagher, and we also wanted Lee's Terrace to be bigger as well. However, due to limitations of like buildings being right next to St James's Park, council and all the rest of these other bodies, what you can do is give the idea, the description to the program, and it'll do it for you. Guardrails, Corvo. Guardrails, it must be exact. I've made sure, because last couple of days when I've had, my nose is still bunged up. Need to get some, I think you call it Siny tab to unblock here and unblock here. It starts up high, but comes into the stadium on a match day. So you get to watch the fans interacting, etc. And you get to see the Magpies doing stuff that you wouldn't expect. Does the voice once AI learns how to act, Hollywood is doomed? Well, you've got a valid point there. You do have a valid point. I can't lie. But what I'll say to you is this: given the instructions, wow, it just blows your brains. Will it be in the next TV guide? No, it won't be. It'll be on YouTube. Well, I, for one, am excited. I wonder what those crazy birds. Well, in some episodes, they're a little bit naughty. You've got to remember they're young. So, in some episodes, mom and dad have to tell them off. Plus, the extras will tell them off as well. And the look on some of our players' faces, that's genius. And obviously, the dugout. And you all know what happens in the dugout. Where like managers are supposed to sit, but they don't often sit in the dugout. They're in their little area. I stumbled across AI Star Wars on here. It's better than the original. Yeah, probably. I mean, AI is advancing. Now, one of the things which I mentioned ages and ages ago is this. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, being you, it takes a lot of time. Yeah, that's the hard bit. Nobody tells you about that. It does take time you can't get back. You know, and as Corvo was saying, what I've done so far, I'm pushing and pushing until it breaks. It fixes itself. And I push it a bit further, and it breaks again. So every time, Flova is learning, and it's building a. Is it itinerary? Is that the word? But it's building. Don't Inu is saying, don't forget Pinu, Paul, has also had to complete redesign of St. James's Park too. All adds to the production. Yeah, it does. It's not just the production time. It cost $197 to upgrade, and then setback after setback after setback, and I was like, I'm not happy. And I told it, I says, look, you know, it it's made for you. So and it will go on to, when it's all finished and done, it'll go on to Twitter. It'll go, sorry, X. I keep calling it Twitter. It'll go on to X, Facebook, Instagram. I can't put it on TikTok in its current form. Have I tried asking AI for a discount? Well, it's give me an option, and the option is referral, where you see on Facebook my referral code to make your own idea, and it gives me credits. Plus, there is the meme coin. AK-47 zombie. Wow, Paul, you have been active. Yeah. Well, what you've got to understand, AK Zombie, is it's the Mighty Magpie Show, right? And the one which you've got, it has an underscroll in it. Mighty underscore Magpie. Mine does not. So that's what you've got to understand. And I also mention it in my post on Facebook about copycats. And James is saying, well, I'm not even going to read your comment out. Same as that. Yeah. That's just bang out of order. Um, um, it's not, it won't be cartoon. If you're thinking it's going to be cartoon, you're on the wrong page. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sure one of the mods will sort that person out in chat, because obviously he doesn't want to be here. So, show him the door kindly. The Mighty Magpie Show. Yeah, that's mine. You can't do nothing. Right. Okay. Let's see. Where. Oh, it's gone. Right. Where we go. AI can't generate real footage. I think you'll find it can. Because what you're going to look at is this. And I've said this to you a few times. Right. There we go. Gone. And don't come back. Being stupid, man. I know, what I'm trying to do is not going to be, agreeable to everybody. I tried to watch the match. However, because I'm still bunged up, my sinuses are blocked, and what's basically happening is it hasn't happened while I'm doing my YouTube live, but what has been happening is drip, 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 sneeze, drip, drip. And Leonard saying AI is not filming reality. It's not real footage. Talking magpies are not. Can you imagine if we did have talking magpies? Shock horror. uh, in you is saying instead of 200 USD on AI credits as an NUFC YouTube, wouldn't it be better investment to pay for Sky or TNT so you can watch the match? That's on the cards. Why do you think in you I created MMS on Radium? To pay towards all of this work, which is going to, the workload is going to increase, doing scenes inside and outside of St. James's Park. And AI isn't cheap. Yes, that's what it is, Corvo. Mighty Magpie Show. That's on Radium. And that is to support creating all of this new content. Now, do you know one thing, right? I, I was looking at something before, and I know I said, obviously, a humble Geordie from Benwell, but I just seen something, and I was like, I saw something ages ago, during when the COVID lockdowns were here, where all of the planes were lined up in the various different airports, and you had like the A380, that double decker plane. I just saw it and I was like, wow, could you imagine that? Uh, and Leonard saying my bean investments are growing nicely. Oh, you got the magic beans, did you, Leonard? So when's your gigantic stalk going up to the cloudland? um, are you planning on moving the coins? No, no. What the reason why I left coinbook.fun, when you're stuck in quicksand, nothing was moving, and I had a choice of pump, radium, uh, meteora, and there's another one. I can't quite think of the other one, and all of them do meme coins. Right, what was that one? I missed that one. I'm interested in investing in some magic beans. Yeah. Well, when you throw your magic beans right across your shoulder, yeah, and enough rain falls out of the sky, you might wake up and there's a great big stalk, and you might find the golden egg. Not saying you're gonna but you might. Um, my magic beanstalk will reach the clouds before any of your projects succeed. Oh, you know what it is, You know what, right? Let's see. Let's say now. Yeah. Let's say now. There we go. Non believers. Really? Non believers? I mean, yeah. Look, watch. What I'm trying to do is this. I'm trying to do something that has never ever been done. And if you want to come in and take the biscuit repeatedly, guess what? You won't be taking the biscuit because I'm not even going to read your comment. Now, no doubt Leonard will be back because that's what trolls do. They keep on coming back and back and back. You know, like they remind me of a DJ in the early 80s and 90s. DJ, please scratch that record. Wacka 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 wacka. You know what I mean? So yeah. But one thing is this. I can honestly tell you this, that when everything to do with the Mighty Magpie Show is done, it'll be posted, and then you decide. That's the easiest way. You decide. Does it have the wow factor? Because on after each episode, you up the ante of what you're doing. Should be a block button. It's not. It wasn't a timeout. It wasn't a timeout. I'm not going to give in 2026 timeouts. You get the door, and that's it. Are you still planning to sue the imposter channel? No, what I'm going to do is finish the work and you decide. That's it. You decide. If you want to watch a channel which is trying to Mickey take, or you want to watch a real vision, it's up to you. Yeah. And it's pushing new boundaries. And one thing I will say to you all is this. Yeah. In in each episode, I hope it still happens. I'll cross my fingers because I've seen this person right in front of me, and I took a picture of this person with the nephew, and I believe in what he's trying to do. So yes, how did the imposter channel get the content out of matter of hour? There's many different ways of copying stuff and using images which have been shared. The only daft thing is the really stupid daft thing is this. YouTube has a copyright, and if you're like trying to impersonate, you walk in dodgy lane. At Corvo, I have no idea. Because if I was to look at like everybody who has a gripe and stuff like that, I wouldn't get anything done. But you know, there's always going to be people who come in and they don't like whatever you're doing. You know, that's the way the world is. Um, it yeah, I mean, you know, when you're copying somebody's idea, then yeah, we can do it better. Well, the only way you can do it better is if you are like sitting inside my head, because that's the only way you're going to nick the idea. You see, part of adult education and adult learning, right, is this: if you don't learn when people try to do daft stuff, then you haven't learned. You know what I'm saying? And that's why instead of showing you the video footage before, when I went over to the laptop, I showed you an image and then I showed you what was in the sidebar. Nothing else. Wicked, man. The beat, wicked. You know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, do you remember when I was talking to you about building Geordie Nation? I spoke to a lad. I'm trying to think of his name, and I asked him to tell me what was at the core. Now, he gave us a little bit of information, and it wasn't anything along the same lines that I was doing, that's the difference. My core value with Geordie Nation was different. I think the core is the meaning of HTML. Well, in you, if you want to, yeah, you can keep going down that HTML until you go different colors in the face. I'm not going to, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like that's one. If one of your projects could take off, which one would you like the most? Hmm. Well, considering what I've seen today, um, of scenes being built, that's a hard one. Because the work I've been doing for the Mighty Magpie Show is groundbreaking. EK47, are you still working on learning HTML? No, just people keep bringing it up. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you something, right? When people keep turning around and saying, "Oh, what does HTML stand for? What does this stand for? What does that stand for?" Do you know what? Here's the honest truth. I don't care. Simple, straightforward. I don't care because I don't like have it round my chain, sorry, round my neck as was one of them big chains with, the big gold with like HTML. You know what I mean? I don't do that. I just move on. You know. Uh, when will the first episode? Well, I'm in production at the moment. Was it? Imagine selling out St James's Park, says Inu. Must be the project you'd love to get off the ground. I'll tell you one thing, right? When you see 80, I'm going to try and stretch it to 80 odd thousand. Yeah, 82,000, 85,000. When you see 85,000 inside St James's Park, and each episode is on a match day, as a key clue. So you've got the run up, which is the journey to St James's, and then you've got things that are unique and nobody else will have done it. And working carpets, building, cutting and selling carpets, not a clue what it. No, well, that's a good one, isn't it? Steve, would it be a good education tool for the show if you were able to count all 80,000? No, no. Because what you will see though, is this. I mentioned this in one of the lives where we were talking about at the time, possibly, was it Lees's Park, where they were going to maybe build a new stadium, and please don't run, please don't run. So, at a new build of a stadium, there was words in the Chronicle last week. They may do 60 to 70,000, and I was thinking, well, all those people trying to get into St James's Park, I think it's 30 odd thousand trying to get in. So I was like, I'll add them into it, and I wanted to also add in your corporate. So there's levels of corporate within this new build. And that corporate, you'll see like fancy, suits and ties. And you might even see people that you go, what? Did I just see him? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and I've also mentioned something. It was about 1 o'clock. Yeah, must have been about 1 o'clock. There's day and night games, and I'll drop more clues as well as we progress throughout the year. But what I'm going to do is I'll do a screenshot, because if I do the screenshot, it's already in there, and all these copycat people, well, they'll be catching up. Do you know what I mean? But by the time they've catched up, it's already done. It's already in. But yeah. Oh man. Nose is running. Do the baby magpies think that Eddie Howe? No, they don't. If you think Fran, well, FP. I'm gonna name it FP because I'm struggling. I'm dyslexic. If you believe that Eddie Howe will be sacked, then that's your opinion, not mine. I don't understand what a meme coin is. It's cryptocurrency, and it's to support the project. This magpie is on the fence with Howe. Well, do you know what the thing is, right? What you got to look at is this. All of our managers, right? Every single manager that Newcastle's ever had, who provided that big day. The one where we left St James's Park and we went down the Gallagher, up Percy Street to the Town Moor. That's what you got to think of. What happened with the Bank of England? I thought you were going there to secure funding. Don't know. Francois. Okay. We have been poor, but do you remember the song I did? Are you brave enough? Look at the words to the song, because the words are to the players. The players get chosen. First 11 and your subs. The first 11 go on the pitch. And the whole ethos to the song, Are You Brave Enough, is you're running out onto St James's Park or on an away ground. You're running out, and are you brave enough to play in front of thousands and thousands? We were struggling at home. Yeah. One thing should have happened, didn't. January transfer window. 200 million plus 46.6 million. There's 40, almost 40, 247 million to buy new players, knowing those new players are needed. And Ross Wilson did nothing. So yeah. What was that one? They must not have listened to Are You Brave Enough? Eddie Show have played it to. The thing is, I mean, most of the words in the song is like like a kick up the backside to say to the players. You know, you've got all of these fans who are paying good money, and you are playing atrocious. Well, I'd love to come up with St James's, which is why in the Facebook post I did this evening, I mentioned our CEO, David Hopkinson, to say to him, look, you've been battering on about this, the feasibility study of, are we staying at St James's? Are we building something new? And I've decided to do this. And when people see it on Facebook, on Instagram, on like TikTok, etc., in the 10-minute version. That is to say to David Hopkinson, look, you dilly-dallied on when I've done this. And what was it? Eddie should have played your song. Yeah, well, this is why I'm back on to X, so I can share with at NUF, you know, do you think if that happened, they'd offer you? The only thing I would ever really want is, like, I mean, if I came across a gigantic amount of money, it's just to turn around and put an offer in. But will that happen? Who knows? But yeah, so I was doing my API, and I ran out of bloody credits. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It says I could upgrade, but it was going to cost us $100, and I was like, nah, not doing that. I'm sure you would get a private box if you were offered. Yeah, possibly. I mean, the one thing which I mentioned ages and ages ago about a private box was people could come in, like memberships could come in, watch a match, have a meal, have a bit of a drink. Don't be camera shy, because I'm not. And, if Newcastle win, you go home happy. And the only ask is, when you get home, tell your family, your friends, your workmates, the cat and the dog, the butcher too. Do you know what I mean? Ain't asking for a lot. I used to play golf. Wasn't very good at it, but I used to play golf as a hobby, you know. But that's another story. Every chance if Gordon goes. Well, like, do you remember when we had Alexander? Yeah, and Liverpool were complaining because he's form, and people turned around and says, well, if either Jacob Murphy had a went with them, or like Harvey Barnes, or to get the ball to him, but it didn't happen, so yeah. But that was one thing which the club suffered, because the way he dropped it. Head barman. My maths is crap. 3 drinks for the mods. Oh, brilliant. 3 drinks. Well, hopefully, from what I've heard of the executive box, is you get a meal, couple of pints, you get to go outside, nice cushy seats, watch the match, come back in, have some cheese and crackers and all the rest of it, and be on video, because now There's 2 mobile phones, and there's the little HD one as well. So there's, plenty of like equipment to record. Has to be Jacob's. Well, whatever floats your boat, man. I'd be happy with my season ticket. We just need to dig deep and fight for the badge. True. Very true. And they're not doing that, you know? That's, like I say, they're just not doing that. Now, as most of you all know, we have super stickers, super chats, because I keep getting told this off Motso, and memberships all available. Yeah? So you know what to do. And who's the most underrated player of all time? Oh, oh. Damn, that's a hard one. That is hard. I can't think of one. I've met, I met Kevin Keegan, Peter Beardsley, Philip Albert, a giant. I've met loads. CR7. Well, that's a ex Manchester United player, isn't it? She won. Mocho wants memberships. She wants super chats, super stickers, because she watches in the background. PSG's 1 up. Oh man, football's on. Right, so yeah. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get some of that Sinew nasal spray, and that'll clear all of this and that and that, so I can breathe properly and I won't get drip, drip, drip nose. Yeah. So on your way out, smash the like, and like I say, to I'm going to keep mentioning it. The motto wants me to sort out the memberships so that I can show her that I'm growing. Okay. So thank you all for coming in, and I will update you in posts, screenshots, etc. of the direction we're going. Okay. And you all have a fantastic Sunday evening, because it is still stotting down the rain here. 11 a.m. tomorrow. It may be 11:30 if okay. Yeah. So thank you all for coming in, and see you on the next one.